How goes it, people? I'm Ian, this is Hammers Polls, and this week I've been asking fans, with the transfer window about to open, who should David Moyes be looking to sell from his Fringe players? Robert Snodgrass, Andrei Yarmolenko, Ryan Fredericks, or someone else? Let's take a look and see what everyone thinks. And if you enjoy the show, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And may I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Hello everybody, it's Wally from the American Hammers, and this week I'm going to talk about whether we should sell Fredericks, Snodgrass, or Yarmolenko. First of all, Ryan Fredericks, as you may or may not know, I'm probably his biggest and perhaps only fan. I just got his jersey here, so I don't know if we can sell him. He does actually have some value, but I don't think we should sell him. As far as Snodgrass goes, he is getting old and his contract is out in this coming June, so I don't believe we can get much money for him. So I think we just keep him around, and then he can go to Scotland on a free or something for his sort of swan song to end his career. But the one I think we should sell is Yarmolenko. He's probably the most value on transfer market. He's close to 10 million. So he's probably the one we can get the most value for. He's also our most expensive player as far as, wages go, I believe. So, and he's not, starting or anything right now. He just comes in to come off the bench, and there's been talk that he could be like a secondary striker, but we've never used him there. He really just comes off to sub out for Jared Bowen. So honestly, I think we could sell him. He would raise a decent amount of money compared to the other three or the other two. And you know what? If we need a right wing, we can put on Ryan Fredericks like they did last night.
Who should be sold in January? Fredericks, Yarmolenko, or Snodgrass? Having looked at last night's game, when we had two goalkeepers on the bench, maybe it's less about selling players and bringing more in. I mean, who will be really brought in aside from Dean Garner? We've just signed a defender in the last few hours I've seen, which is good. One for the future, and we'll be in 21. It could be now. But for me, there's got to be less emphasis on selling and more emphasis on buying. But we haven't got the money because the owners. That's another story. I'm not getting into it. I feel a bit sorry for Snodgrass because he's been a great servant to the club. I think he's still got a lot in him personally. Probably not a Premier League player for 90 minutes, but could definitely offer something coming off the bench or in cup games. Fredericks, for me, I think he's a good player, but he's just unreliable. He's too injury prone. So maybe out of all of them, he should be sold because you've got cover there with Johnson. You can play on both legs, but then that means bringing in a left back as well. So perhaps if he can play there, I've never known him to play there, but if he can play there, then maybe keep him for that. But you can't really rely on him injury wise. And Yarmolenko is someone who I don't want to be sold because I think he's got a lot to offer the club still. On his day he can score brilliant goals and vital goals for us. And when he has played, more than 30 minutes, he's been a good player for us. People say he hasn't got the pace anymore. You don't always need pace in this league. He's got the good footwork. Everyone knows what he's about. He cuts on his left and he hits it with his left as well. He's a bit like an Iron Robin like that. But for me, we need to start keeping hold of these players and just bringing more in, because two goalkeepers. I don't know if Moyes was sending a message to the owners saying I need more recruits, because he could have put someone in from the 21 surely. But yeah, two goalkeepers on the bench yesterday sent alarm bells to the owners that we need recruits rather than sales. So for me, keep all three of them and let's get buying.
Good evening everyone, it's Jazz answering this week's question. Who should we sign in the summer, and perhaps who should stay? We're 10th in the league before Christmas. Is a really good achievement with the squad we've got, as I've said previously. If the board have any ambition, and wish to capitalise on the good start and good management and everything else that goes along with the club being in good morale, good sort of team confidence, everything else, then they should help the manager and give him what he wants, really. As I said many times, I think our squad is one of the lowest in kind of numbers, really. The first 11's are good quality, as we've seen, but over 38 games and cup games and all those things taken into account, it's not good enough. I mean, people are picking up knocks. Some people are playing with knocks, as we've seen. And in the modern game, you do need to rotate your players to keep them fresh for the big games, really. And we just can't do it. And David Moyes has got an upheaval task in terms of thinking of formations when he hasn't got certain people in certain positions, really. So looking at who we need, I think we need 2 strikers. I'm not very confident in what Haller's producing at the moment, like a lot of fans, so can't rely on him. And I am quite ruthless. I think if we can move him on, even on loan, I can't see anyone paying anywhere near what we paid for him. So if we can perhaps put him on loan somewhere and use those salary elsewhere, it would be very wise, really. He doesn't really fit into our system, and his character and personality and playing style is just not matching what we need. So I think we need 2 strikers, because I still think long term Antonio, we don't have to play him up front, we can play him those 3 behind. So Antonio, Benrahma, Bowen, and then let's get a quality striker in, really. Goalkeeper as a backup for Fabianski, I don't think Randolph, sorry, is the Rudolph for the Christmas. Sorry, Randolph is kind of the real quality backup we need. I think he's past his peak. So I think we need a good, young, hungry goalkeeper, really. Centre back, I think it's very obvious that David Moyes wanted a 25 million centre back in the summer, and the board just could not get deals over the line for one reason or another. I think he went in for Fofana, who ended up at Leicester. He went in for Tarkowski and didn't work out. He even rode on 8-9 million. Cheekily Tottenham got him at the end. And then there were some bids not quite accepted by a couple of Italian clubs, I think. I hope we get Tarkowski. And if Dupe has to be moved on, then so be it, really. I think even in the comeback game, I don't care if he wasn't up to match speed or fitness. Even when he's fit, he's lost a plot. He can't mark. He loses his bearings. He's all over the place. He's just not anywhere near how good he was in the first year, really. So centre back, perhaps a wing back cover, because David Moyes does like that option. So it's cover for sort of Creswell, Kufal, and centre mid to provide cover for Rice and Souček. It's such a demanding position, box to box. You can't expect these two to carry on playing every single game. And we saw last night that Noble isn't quite up to it. No way, he was kind of well off the pace, really. So 6 people. We got 2 strikers, goalkeeper, centre back, wing back, and centre mid. Might sound a lot, but that's what we need. And in terms of people being pushed out, we already know Anderson's away. Haller, Fredericks, Dupe are the ones where perhaps we could make some money on. But it's got to be policy 1 in, 1 out. We can't risk losing anyone and not bring anyone in. Well, that would be a tragedy, really. So it's got to be carefully done. Benrahma, Yarmolenko, Snoddy, these kind of people will stay. They're kind of doing well. So I'm hoping, yeah. So let's get a striker in. I don't know who, what. I mean, got people like Pukey at Norwich. Cantwell we don't need. We've got Benrahma. Mitrovic is the one I've been banging on for years, but obviously he's at Fulham. So Tarkowski is the one I really want. Just love that guy. 28. Vocally said that he did more or less wanted to move, but being professional, he didn't want to cause too much of an issue and stayed with them. But his contract's clock is running down, really. So those are the 2-3 people we should try and move on, and the 6 people we need to get in, really, if we are to improve on this position. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at a 10th to 15th position finish, I feel. We're above teams like Arsenal, and Wolves. So if we bring ideally 3 in, then perhaps we can hold on to top 10 position. Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill task, and I don't want us to lose the momentum we've got, really. And then all the anti-Moyes things start again. So anyway, have a great Christmas. Happy New Year if we don't speak again. And look after yourselves anyway and be healthy. Come on, you Irons.
So who are we selling? Yarmolenko, Fredericks or Snodgrass? Well, I wouldn't sell Snodgrass. He works too hard for me. I like his ethic. I think he's got a job to do inside. I really do think that. And he knows where the goal is, because that's our problem. We can't score. And we can't score because Haller can't score. He don't know where the goal is. He's grumpy. I don't like his body language. He don't look happy to be there. So for me, it's not one of those 3. It's Yarmolenko and Haller. They're the ones that got to go. Yarmolenko and Haller. Get rid of them. We'll get about 30 million for them, roughly, and then give the money to Moyes and go get a striker. Go and find someone who knows where the back of the net is. And in the meantime, play Ben Rami or Bowen up front, because they sort of know where the goal is. I've been a bit disappointed with Bowen's finishing lately. I don't think it's as good enough as it should be. Same with Fornell's. His finishing is appalling. It should be better. Take them out, show them where the goal is. That is the problem. We cannot score. If we took our chances, we would have beaten Man United, we would have beaten Chelsea, and beaten Palace. If we score, we're up there at the top of the table beating people. But we ain't. And that's the problem. So, get rid of those 2, a la Yarmolenko, buy a striker. Buy someone who knows where it is. And if it's got to be Danny Ings, right, and it's going to cost us 30 million, you go and buy him, because he's going to find the back of the net for you. All right? That's the way it is. So that's my answer. All right? Got my colours on. Wear them with pride, even though we lost against the old blue scum of West London. Right? So, any mug wears them when you're winning. When you're losing, it counts. So, come on, you eyes. Up the hammers. And Merry Christmas to you all. All right? Merry Christmas. Have a nice time. Enjoy your food and your beer. All right.
For West Ham fans everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. Never miss a thing with the latest West Ham news, gossip and social stories as they break. Download the free COY Irons app now from the App Store and Google Play.